What's the strategy going forward to deal with, first of all, the perception battle that you seem to be losing?
Well, I don't think we're losing the perception battle. What's very clear is that we did lose the mandate of the people in 2014.
Yeah.
I think it's important to go back to the grassroots, which is what I think that the Congress party needs to do now. It needs to go back to the grassroots. It needs to connect with a new vision. That was always the forte of the Congress party. And I think we need to rebuild that forte of the Congress party today as we speak.
It does appear that the strategy lacks imagination in a certain sense.
It's a case of damned if you do and damned if you don't. We held up the House one full session, right? And what is the response that we got? Why are you doing that? The Congress has put up a phenomenal job of being a responsible opposition. It was only because of the Congress party that the land acquisition, the changes in the ordinance to the Land Acquisition Act actually got stalled. Similar is the case with regard to issues of internal security.
The Congress party is ceding ground of key opposition to parties like the Aam Aadmi Party,
If you look at the grassroots level, the Congress party is active across every village, taluka and every nagar palika across this country.
Okay.
These are all issues that we have taken down to the grassroots level.
you don't think you're ceding ground to
I think it would be facetious for us to discount them and their strength in certain states. For example, in Delhi, it's a no-brainer. We have ceded that space. Now we have to regain that space.
How confident is the party to go it alone in Uttar Pradesh?
I certainly do believe that the Congress has to rebuild itself. That rebuilding of itself cannot only be done on the basis of alliances. So it has to go back to the grassroots and rebuild itself in every single state. Earlier, a strong center would imply strong states. Today, strong states imply a strong center.
Your generation of the Congress party or the people after you are not getting that kind of responsibility.
It is not only about age, it is about experience and capability.
Rahul Gandhi, when will he take on the mantle of becoming the Congress party president? Is it going to happen and when is it going to happen?
ये निर्णय एक ऐसा निर्णय है जो AICC वर्किंग कमेटी कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष और उपाध्यक्ष स्वयं लेंगे.
If the party leadership in the centre decides that you were to lead the Madhya Pradesh campaign in the next state elections, would you be willing to take on that mantle?
I can't answer hypothetical questions, but I will say this, that whether it was my father or me, whatever responsibility the party has ever given me, I have always tried to ensure that I work on that with 200% commitment. I think there should be advanced planning. I think that's imperative.
It's imperative, but it's not happening.
But I think it's imperative. You asked me for my view.
Okay, great. This is a space that the opposition loves to grab because the fact of the matter is that Kashmir has been on a downward spiral for a very long time. So
in the 10 years that the UPA was in government, there was a very singular committed agenda by Dr. Manmohan Singh and the UPA government on development and progress in creating an atmosphere of peace and stability in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The government is a marriage of convenience. There's a different mandate in the valley, a different mandate in Jammu.
You know, or debate at least in the public domain is about GST. Can we expect to see it be passed this session?
Let's not forget that the GST is a child that we gave birth to. It is our creation. We have concentrated on only 3 issues, putting a cap on the GST rate so that the public of this country is aware that this is the rate beyond which the GST level will not go, because then if you do that, you are taking away all the gains from removing all the other indirect taxes. The new clause that they brought in, that if a good is produced in Jammu and Kashmir and if it is sold in Kanyakumari, all the states in between the route of Jammu, Kashmir and Kanyakumari are at freedom to levy a 1% additional GST. So imagine if the GST rate is 18% and the good is sold in Kanyakumari, the actual GST rate when it is sold in Kanyakumari will become something like 29%. And contention number 3, if Rishika and I as 2 states do not agree on a certain issue, then we certainly cannot be part of the dispute resolution process because there's a conflict of interest. You have to have an independent authority that does the dispute resolution between the 2 of us. There is no concrete reversal from the government.
You were a banker. Why did you choose to get into politics?
Well, the fact was that I was always connected to the grassroots, even then, in terms of campaigning for my father, but it was obviously episodical. After I graduated from university at Harvard, I joined an investment bank. I worked in the investment banking area for 6 years. The satisfaction and the desire of wanting to serve and making a change. As an individual, neither my father nor me are very interested in the politics part, but it's really the developmental part. Both things are as important to be able to effect that change. So I try and evaluate myself on a 6-monthly, 1-yearly basis to see, and that's something that I've learned from investment banking.
What do you think is the best way going forward if you would decide that, after school, college, after a qualification or even a corporate job in your case?
It's not politics that's important, it's public service. And therefore, if that is your ambition, then A, build a repertoire for yourself. B, certainly do have an income generating source. Because the one thing that we do need in India today is corruption-free public servants.